We're back on seg4 TV. We're here with SASKYA SKY.
Hey.
I had to include that because I was told offset that I'm not saying the full name. So there you have it.
It's okay. I know Saskia might be easier for you though. It's cool.
Yeah. I actually like the name, and people think that that's your stage name.
No, that's my actual name. My mother named me. She gave me 10,000 stories about how she came up with the name because Haitian parents, they never have the right story.
Yeah.
And but it's a pretty cool name. It's Russian. It's from Russia. She's never been to Russia.
Okay.
Neither have I. So
how did she come? Well, one of the stories.
One of the stories was it was in a book. There was a girl that used to sing, and then there was a little bird involved. I just held on to that story. So.
I love that because it's fitting.
Yeah.
It's very well fitting. So as far as we were talking about something that was a little near and dear to a lot of us, a lot of the Caribbean island people, and people of African descent too, where the whole parenting thing, where there's this juxtaposition with the parenting and us assimilating from other cultures and just trying to stay grounded in our faith and our discipline, and yet still have respect for our elders. And that's another thing too. It doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter your age, like there's still a certain level of respect that you should uphold in our culture to people who are older than us, and it doesn't matter what they do. You're still supposed to carry this, this kind of reverence for them, which is not bad, but in some cases we do need to speak on a lot of issues that we're going through, which is, the whole miscommunication. There's a lot of miscues going on. And I was saying earlier, Offset, like how I think half of the time it's not, their intention. I don't think that they really have malice behind it. I just feel like a lot of Caribbean people that's just how they were taught. That's just how they were raised. That's their upbringing. So unfortunately, they spew on this type of energy towards, their offspring, their kids. So what's your take on that?
I take that very seriously, first of all, because I know it's probably looked at as a really light situation, but it's a deep situation, and it's a situation that's actually ravagé, the young Haitian American communities. And I, like, right now I'm like a parent. I have 2 small little brothers, and I'm like, I do not want them to experience depression. I do not want them to get out of there and be lost and not knowing who they are. And I don't want them to, I want them to know what it feels like to be loved and to feel affection from someone, so I learned to say I love you to them. So that was the first time I ever said I love you to anyone in my family was to my little brother.
Nice.
And that's the first time it was ever repeated in my home, and like nobody's going to be like, je t'aime or or something. It's like, it doesn't happen. My mom, my dad, I never saw them kiss or anything like that. It's like really weird. And then, on top of not showing affection, they have this authoritative character about them, where it's like they want to show you all the time, this is their house, this is their world, they brought you here, they can take you out. So then you grow up, you're in school, you're in a different culture, you have kids, there's a social standard or whatever, and you have friends and they dress a certain way, they act a certain way, and you're forced to be a total outsider.
Right.
I feel like sometimes they dress you a certain way out of spite. Like if they're mad at you, like mom, calm you down, put this long ass skirt on.
Don't forget the ribbons.
What's that song? So I remember because it happened. So you have that. That's just it's a really, really harsh way, because it's like, that is not their fault. Sometimes they really don't know the trends and everything. That's fine. But then sometimes they do it as a form of punishment. Like, you got to be like this.
I never
you gotta
saw
be
it like that.
Girl, I've seen it all.
Like it's punishment
seen it all.
with the ribbons and I thought it was just that they weren't assimilated and they weren't, like you said.
It's punishment because I don't want you to grow up, so I'm going to dress you like a little kid.
Oh, you mean even throughout high school, in middle school,
and
and high
ninth
school?
grade, I had little things in my head, okay,
bless your
girl?
heart.
And I was a rebel when my mom found me taking them things off and putting my little big girl things on. She was like, oh, mbareo. So
ninth grade,
it
that
was
torturing.
And, what happens is that you just don't know who you are at that point because you're being bullied at home. That's really what it is. It's that deep, okay? It's that deep because they don't know they don't know if it's a form of bullying, but it is. Like, you gotta learn about the time. You got to
Right.
learn about kids, learn about what makes them feel good, what makes them feel happy.
So you were intimidated to stand up and speak up for yourself and say, no, that's
Never
not right?
spoke out at home.
Oh.
I'm until this
You're a
day.
good kid.
I never can even face my dad. I am. I really am. I grew
You're a
up
good
following the
kid.
rules.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
I never until now. I just don't talk to my dad sometimes because I'm like I can't really express myself to him. I can be like, you're wrong for this. You know, you shouldn't do that. So sometimes I just don't communicate with him because of that. Because the moment you tell him that he's wrong, it's over. Like the relationship is done. There's no fatherly daughter.
But then is that a relationship by you holding it inside? Okay.
There's no
like, that's not
It's
any
not really
reciprocity.
it's like you. I want to please him all the time. I want him
Yeah.
to talk to me. So I was like, I'm just not gonna speak my mind type stuff. You know what I mean? It's really bad. So I mean, it's much deeper than that. You know, just growing up like this, it really made me a different person. You know, once it was time for me to grow up, I'm like, I could never even like feel like a woman. Once I became one, I'm like, I felt like a little girl. Like I want to grow. You know, I don't want to be rebellious, but I want to get the heck out of here. So you know, just going out there and you know, just all of the anxiety, all of the emotions that you held in, everything, and then depression starts kicking in because you start dealing with your own issues, professions, everyday life, you know, social, whatever it is, and then you get into depression. And it's a very common thing among young people, especially young people who come from these strict houses. And depression is a very dark thing, you know.
Right.
You can't. It really is.
We have to go to a break real quick, but we're gonna come back and discuss
Okay.
a little bit about this and a little bit about your up and coming projects that you have, because this is a topic that a lot of us we take lightly and we don't really dig into it, and it's something that needs to be in the forefront. We really need to start talking about this so we can save our culture. It's not only a case by case scenario; it is culture wide. So we'll be back. Thanks to Snake.